Hello, I'm Lola Stone and this is Handmade Originals. This project has been inspired by seeing all the hearts which have been around in abundance since we've just had Valentine's Day here. So I'm starting off by using something which I've had lying around the house for ages, which is a sample glass tile I had for something when I was considering having glass worktops, and this was a sample which was given to me for free just so that I could look at the colour, and I just loved this colour so much I couldn't bring myself to throw it away, so I've kept it for ages. And I thought, actually, what better way to use it than to incorporate it into a piece of artwork. So I'm now going to put the camera on overhead so that you can see what I'm doing. What you'll need for this is some blue tack, a ruler, some Smarties or something similar. These aren't actually Smarties, these are, I don't know what they're called actually, but they're just coloured chocolates that look like Smarties but actually aren't, from a sweet shop. And 2 pieces of cardboard cut and joined together, equal lengths, and joined together with a piece of sellotape here. And the important thing about these 2 pieces of cardboard is, one, they must be the same length, which you can see they are, and the other is at least one side has to have a straight edge. And I've just got the ruler here to show you that that is a straight edge like that. Now, here's what we do. The reason I've put a bit of sellotape there is so that I'm going to make the shape of a heart. I'm going to make it like this. So I'm going to put a piece of sellotape here as well, the 2 ends together, and making sure that the bottom edge is lined up because we want that to be flat. So yes, it does that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work out where I want the bottom of my heart, stick down a piece of blue tack and sort of wedge that in there. And then I'm going to work out how big I want my heart to be. Now, the reason I got them the same length and they're sellotaped together is because if I want it to be slightly smaller, I just need to work my hand down like that. And I think my heart should be about that size. So I'm going to put another piece of sellotape here. There we are. So I think those are fairly symmetrical. Now I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to cut here because I want this open space in the middle to be just that, to be open without this dividing piece of cardboard here. Right, I have my scissors, so I'm going to cut. You'd think it would be easy, wouldn't you? There. Now, as I look at it, I can see that in fact I've moved my heart too far down, because whenever you have a focal point set against a background, the margin at the bottom should always be slightly greater than the margin at the top, and in fact I've done it the other way around, so I'm just going to move this all up a little bit. So really just play around with it until you've got the shape you want, and then, this is quite important, put in little bits of blue tack round the outside, because we're going to fill all of this with sweets, and if they press against the side they'll move it. So put these round to start with, just to sort of stabilise your heart shape before you fill it. Oops, I don't know what I've done there. Changed the shape completely. There, I think that will keep it all in position. So the next thing I'm going to do is fill it with glue, and I've just got, what glue is this? High tack, all-purpose, very sticky glue. I think basically just go for a glue that you're used to using, which is not too runny but obviously not too hard to pour out. And then what you do is fill it with glue. Try not to get it on the cardboard because it's the inside that you're concerned about. Do try to get quite a good spread. There we are. Actually, I think that's quite a pretty lacy pattern, just like that, but we're going to go for something else. So, reaching for my chocolate buttons, I'm just literally going to drop them in. Nobody wants to eat these. suppose if you wanted to make it edible, you could actually use sugar glue, which you use in making sugar paste flowers. And we all know about those now, don't we? Now, this glue dries to become transparent. So just try and push them around a little bit so you fill up any gaps. And this is why we had to have the edge completely flat, because otherwise you'd end up with some of the buttons sneaking underneath, and of course we don't want that to happen. Once they're wet with the glue, you do have to be a bit careful, because then their colour will start to run if you keep touching at them. Now I'm just going to take the collar off so that the chocolate buttons don't get stuck to the cardboard collar, and I'm going to leave this to dry, and then I'll come back and we'll examine what's happened. So coming back, this is nicely dry. You can see the glue is now transparent. We do have a couple of loose ones on top. That's not a problem, because what I'm going to do is I'll just tip these actually to get loose ones off. Actually they're pretty well, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that didn't stick. That's all right. So if we've got any obvious gaps, like here, then I can just literally glue the chocolate button dash a bit filly. Just glue the chocolate button like that and stick that one down, trying not to get glue everywhere else. I'll have to wipe that off as we do. Anyway, so I'm just going to put it, actually it might be easier if I just put a blob here and then put the button on top. But I'll put that one there because otherwise I'm putting a lot of blue on blue already. That can go there. I think I've got a little orange one here. That one can go there. And I think that's pretty well all of the gaps. Hello, so here we are, it's finished. Here is the sweetheart, if I can call it that. Bit corny, but there you go. So I think it's come out rather well actually, I'm very pleased with it. It's at this stage usually that I have a quick reflection about what I would do differently if I was doing it again. If I was doing this again, I was quite careful to move the heart up to make sure that the border at the bottom was wider than the border at the top. And the reason you do this is because if it's equal, it's an optical illusion that whatever your focal point is, it will look as if it's actually slipping down out of your background. What I didn't do, and I should have done, is made sure that the distances at the sides were actually the same. If you look carefully, I think you'll see this one is slightly wider than that one, and if I was doing it again I would probably want to make sure that they were equal. But apart from that, I'm really pleased with it. What I'm particularly pleased about is that I've been able to use this tile, which I've kept for years actually, because I just love the colour of it so much. So I'm delighted I've actually been able to turn it into a work of art, she says rather pompously. Anyway, so that's that. Also, you could put it up on the wall like that, you could lean it against the wall, or you could, as I was thinking about doing, set it on, I think it looks rather nice against this cork background, or you could frame it into a much bigger frame. Alternatively, you could go smaller and lighter. You could use a piece of card and use the Smarties or any other sweets or any other bits of coloured paper to make your heart, to make up a card. For example, we have Mother's Day coming up, telling your mum how much you love her. My children, take note. Anyway, there we are. Have a go. See if you can do something similar yourself. Be inspired.